hard, way too hard. Go in, go in. Yes!
Oh my god.
This was very, very important. Hey guys, and welcome to Future of Golf. I'm playing here this golf club golf simulator in VR. And today I want to explain you everything you need to know about the different lies in this game and the lie penalties that you have. So let's just jump into it. And what we're going to do now is to hover over the clubs now back. And with each of these you can see there's a number, this 100%, right? That is below that Callaway ball there. And if I now gonna take whatever club I want here, or always have 100% power to that shot, because there's no penalty. It's 100% that we are getting. If I now do something as like making a little drive here of 3-4 yards, and the ball now rolls still on the green though, right? The lie here, if we're gonna take a look at the shot now, you can see it was a 5-yard shot with 5 miles club head speed, and the lie is still on the green. But if we now reset our position and take a look at the clubs again, we now see the numbers have changed. Most clubs here still have 100% almost, like 98%, right? But the driver off the deck, has only 69 to 94%. And usually trust the lower number, like the 69%. So in other words, we now lose almost 30% of the power. And no matter what we do now, if we, let's say, make a 100-mile shot, and it would usually go 200 yards as a random number from the tee, now it will maybe only go like 160, 150, 140 yards based on these like penalty RNGs here. The other different lies here, let me quickly get the 45-degree pitching wedge here. We're going to chip it like here into that little semi-rough. Now we can see from that position that as well everything changes. We can see the lie here is light rough. And if I now take the lob wedge, has still 92%, right? Because the lob wedge goes pretty well through these conditions. If I take something like a 4-iron though, we can see it has only 83%, or something like the driver is like 46% out of that light rough here. So like a huge penalty, because there's like a lot of grass that gonna stop the club head. And of course, these heavier club heads like the P wedge or the lob wedge and whatever, they're gonna have an easier time getting out of here, and they're not gonna hit any grass in theory, right? While hitting, because the trajectory gonna be very high. Now what we do is we take the P wedge and we're gonna try to find some rough. And you can see already on that side here, there's some rough where that palm tree is. So I'm just gonna make a little shot into the rough. And there you go, right? So now we have the heavy rough lie. And here we can see now we have with the clubs, okay, 55% here, right? Like 46% with that 4. We have still decent numbers, like 80% with the lob wedge, right? The putter, for example, has 8% to 13. To just demonstrate this, if I'm now going to really rip at it, like the hardest putt I can make in this condition here, it would go like this. Yeah, goes maybe like half a yard. But yeah, it's definitely like 52 miles, 1 yard, yeah. Definitely is very important to always, before you make a shot, take a look at the different lies that you have. And now we can see here, for example, we have an 88% out of that rough here. And it was before something like maybe only 75 or 80%. And this depends on how the ball gets into these different lies as well, which is very important to know. So if we're now just going to make something like here, so we chip that ball, we can see that the ball as well sometimes here, I'm just going to make a couple of strokes. For example, this one here looks more like a flyer lie, almost like very high on top of the grass or something. And every single shot, depends on how it gets in, will have a different percentage. Here, for example, we can see it has 90% now with this. Here we see 70%, 90% with the lob wedge. If I'm now going to do something like, I really try make a flopper, right? So I open the face and just kind of flop it here, something like 5 to 6 yards. And now we can take again look at this lie, and here we see it's 83 instead of that 90, right? Because the ball is a little bit deeper here now in that rough, so we have a bigger penalty. So definitely always take a look at these numbers, it's super important. Now, we're gonna go to the last lie here, which is the fairway. So I'm gonna chip it on that fairway, and we can see now here how the lies change, and we have 100% with the clubs. With some of them we're gonna have, of course, like the driver here, driver off the deck never really works, and the fairway woods as well have a little penalty of maybe 5-7%, whatever. But yeah, it's definitely something to keep in mind. Now, one more thing about the penalties and the lies, that when you're getting closer to the greens, usually, especially in the bunkers there, and yeah, we didn't talk about that lie, but in the bunkers there, you will have like a bigger penalty, especially if the ball is coming high into a greenside bunker, like after you make a drive or something. It could be terrible, and you might have only something like 25-30%, and you really have to rip at it as much as you can and get really like the ball out like just 10 yards by making a 100-mile shot or something. I will now try to just hit one of these bunkers with my actually, let me try to hit the left one. It's probably a little bit better. Yeah, with my 8 iron here. Probably I won't hit it, but at least we can chip it in then to just take a look at the bunker lie. Not make the video too long. Okay, they're gonna be left of it and long. Almost hit the car path. So here, for example, now we made it full shot, and we can see the different lies again. We have, okay, pretty good lie here with our wedges, right? And what we do now is we try to get it on that car path. So now I just fast forwarded because I want the ball to stop here on the car path. So I just put it. Anyway, let's take a look at the lies here, and we can see here we have car path, and now we have 44% fairway. The irons still have a 97% pretty good contact there. It will be. And as the last lie here, gonna try to get it now to that bunker. Gonna open up a bit, and do we try to get into that bunker? I want to make a little flop shot from that position here. Actually go behind. I could be just gonna hack the ball out like that. Make a little flop shot into the bunker here. To see what we get, and for sure now we see sand lie. And going to these clubs, 62%, which by far now the worst so far of all these. But we can see we're still gonna have, let's say with the 6 iron, as good of a contact with compared to the sand wedge. And sometimes the sand wedge, or generally the wedge, is gonna be having a way better lie. And this depends really on how much the ball is clocked in, right? And of course here with the driver with 24% worst case, and yeah, it's definitely not working. So yeah, the last thing now, since we talked about all the different lies, is talking about the difficulty pro mode. And we can see here gameplay pro that I'm playing. When you're playing the pro mode, which I don't really recommend because it's very tough this way, it's really like a super realistic simulator and not just like just a game kind of slash sim. When you do this, you will have as well an extra 10% penalty based on the contact. And just if I would now make a normal shot here, so I would, let's say, take this sandwich, take a look. Okay, we have a 62%, so it's definitely a little bit clocked in. So if I open the club here, probably gonna have to put in something like a maybe 50 to 60 miles shot into it to get it. And I'm gonna try to hit it as good as I can. And we can see now the game gives me 41% contact, right? So with a 50-mile shot that I want to do, 40% contact, we have an extra 6% of penalty based on that pro mode because the contact wasn't 100%. And especially with wedges in this game, it's almost impossible to get like 100% contact, especially if you make flop shots, because we always calculate the club face to be not to be too wide open, and therefore the contact is bad or whatever it is. So yeah, it's definitely very, very tough in pro mode to make these shots. But if you play just for fun, play the casual difficulty or the amateur difficulty maybe, and you're gonna have way more fun with these shots, and the contact will just usually be always better. The balls come out way softer out of the bunkers, and it's way easier to play this way. Okay, so if you have some more questions, of course, write it in the comments. I will try to answer them. And yeah, then have a good day. And if you like my content, just like it, subscribe it, whatever. And yeah, see you around. Ciao, ciao.